My phone buzzes on the coffee table, lighting up with notifications from our family group chat. I'm sitting in my small apartment, laptop open, reviewing a real estate contract. The buzzing doesn't stop. Message after message pouring in. I pick up the phone and my stomach drops. Mom's message is pinned at the top. Just FYI everyone, don't expect much from Maya this Christmas. She's really struggling financially right now. Let's all be understanding if she can't afford gifts. 23 family members can see this. Aunts, uncles, cousins, my older sister Jessica. Everyone. The replies start immediately. Aunt Carol. Oh no, poor thing. Cousin Brad. We totally understand. Jessica. Maya, if you need help, just ask. My cheeks burn hot. I want to throw my phone across the room. Instead, I set it down carefully and look back at my laptop screen. The real estate portal is still open, showing a beautiful 4-bedroom lakeside house. Purchase price: $2.3 million. Payment method: cash. My finger hovers over the Confirm Purchase button. Mom has no idea what I've been building for the past 3 years. No idea that my consulting business generates over $400,000 a year. No idea that I'm about to buy my dream house. Click Confirm. The screen loads. Congratulations on your purchase. I close my eyes and whisper, Merry Christmas to me. 3 years ago, I quit my corporate job to start my own tech consulting business. Mom nearly had a heart attack. You're throwing your life away, she screamed over the phone. That job had benefits, health insurance, a 401k. What are you thinking? I tried to explain that I'd found clients already, that I'd be specializing in cybersecurity for healthcare companies, that the income potential was actually higher. She didn't want to hear it. You sound just like your father when he had his business ideas, she said coldly. Look how those turned out. That stung. Dad's business ventures in his 20s had failed, and Mom never let him forget it. He worked a steady job at the post office now, and she made sure everyone knew she was the one who saved him from himself. I stopped trying to convince her. I just worked. The first year was hard. I lived off savings, worked 16-hour days, and slowly built my client list. Mom would call every few weeks asking if I'd given up on that computer thing yet, and come to my senses. By year 2, I had 6 steady clients and was making more than my old corporate salary. But I kept driving my old Honda, kept living in my modest apartment, kept dressing simply. I didn't want the questions or the attention. Mom saw my unchanged lifestyle and decided I was failing. She started telling relatives I was struggling and too proud to ask for help. I let her believe it. It was easier than fighting. My family has always had a clear hierarchy. At the top, my older sister Jessica, lawyer, married to a dentist, 2 perfect kids, lives in a big house in the suburbs. Mom's pride and joy. The bottom, me. The daughter who couldn't figure things out. Every family gathering was the same. Mom would spend 20 minutes asking Jessica about her latest case, her kids' achievements, her husband's dental practice expansion. Then she'd turn to me with a tight smile. And Maya? Still doing that computer work from home. The way she said computer work made it sound like a hobby, not a career. Jessica never corrected her. Dad would try to change the subject. Everyone else would look uncomfortable and move on. At Thanksgiving 2 years ago, Mom announced to the whole table that she was worried about me because I didn't have direction. Aunt Carol nodded sympathetically. Uncle Tom looked at his plate. Jessica squeezed my hand under the table but said nothing. I went home that night and cried in my car for an hour. Then I logged into my bank account and looked at the balance. $180,000 saved. I was 29 years old and had more money than most people twice my age. But Mom thought I was failing. That's when I decided I'd let her keep thinking it. Right up until I didn't. My consulting business specializes in cybersecurity for healthcare companies. It sounds boring until you realize hospitals will pay almost anything to protect patient data. I started with one client 3 years ago. A small clinic that needed help with HIPAA compliance. I charged them $5,000 for 3 months of work. They were so happy with the results that they referred me to their network. Now I have 12 major clients: hospitals, medical groups, insurance companies. My average project fee is $35,000, and I usually have 3 or 4 running at the same time. Last year I made $420,000. This year I'm on track for $480,000. I work from my apartment, set my own hours, and take on only the projects I want. No office politics, no demanding boss, no pointless meetings. Just me, my laptop, and clients who respect my expertise. 2 weeks ago I got an email that changed everything. A Fortune 500 healthcare company wanted to partner with me. Not acquire my business, partner. They'd pay me $400,000 upfront and $400,000 annually for 3 years to consult exclusively with them while keeping my other clients. I negotiated them up to $450,000 annually. We signed the contract on November 8th. That same day, Mom posted in the family group chat asking if anyone could help Maya out with grocery money. I didn't respond. I just opened my real estate app and started looking at lakefront properties. The lake house appeared in my search results on November 3rd. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,800 square feet. Private dock, mountain views. Completely renovated. Listed at $2.4 million. My heart stopped when I saw the address. It was on the same lake where our family used to vacation when I was little. The lake Mom always called where successful people live. I called my real estate agent within an hour. I want to see it tomorrow. The house was perfect. Hardwood floors, floor-to-ceiling windows. A kitchen that looked like something from a magazine. I stood on the back deck, looking out at the water, and felt something click into place. "I'll take it," I told my agent. "Cash offer, $2.3 million, close as fast as possible." She blinked at me. "Cash? Are you sure?" I'd been saving aggressively for 3 years. Between my business income and smart investments, I had $520,000 in savings and another $380,000 in my investment portfolio. The partnership signing bonus of $400,000 hit my account that week. I could afford it easily. "I'm sure," I said. We closed on November 15th. The whole process took 45 minutes. I signed the papers, got the keys, and sat in my car in the driveway for 20 minutes, just staring at the house. My house. That night, Mom texted me. "Maya, did you get my Venmo request? I need $50 for the Thanksgiving turkey." I know money's tight. I sent her $100. She had no idea I was sitting on the deck of my lake house when I did it. Thanksgiving planning started the week after I closed on the house. Mom created a group chat event. Grant Family Thanksgiving. My house. November 23rd, 2 p.m. Then she assigned dishes. "Jessica, you're bringing the catered appetizers and wine pairing from that fancy place you love. Aunt Carol, your famous sweet potato casserole. Uncle Tom, can you grab the drinks?" Then at the bottom, "Maya, honey, just bring store-bought rolls. Nothing fancy. Don't stress yourself out. Store-bought rolls." While Jessica brought catered appetizers. The message was clear. I couldn't be trusted with anything important because I couldn't afford it. I stared at my phone, anger bubbling in my chest. Then I opened my contacts and called my friend Rachel, who owns a artisan bakery downtown. "I need 3 dozen of your best rolls," I said. "Rosemary sea salt, the ones you charge $8 each for." "Maya, that's $288 worth of rolls for Thanksgiving. Are you sure? Make it 4 dozen. I'll pick them up Wednesday." She laughed. "You're insane. But okay." I hung up and opened another tab on my laptop. I'd been planning to host my small team of contractors for Thanksgiving, a thank you for their work this year. I found a private chef service and booked them for $3,500. Mom thought I couldn't afford store-bought rolls. I was spending $3,500 on a private Thanksgiving dinner for 12 people. The irony was delicious. November 8th was a big day. That morning, I signed the partnership agreement with the Fortune 500 healthcare company. The $400,000 signing bonus hit my account by noon. I sat at my desk, staring at my bank balance. $1,247,000. At 29 years old, I was a millionaire. I wanted to call someone to celebrate, to scream with joy. But who would I call? Mom would find a way to minimize it. Jessica would be happy for me but wouldn't fully understand. My friends would celebrate, but they didn't know how much this moment meant. So I sat alone in my apartment and let myself feel it. Pride. Relief. Validation. Then my phone buzzed. Family group chat. Mom's message. Hey everyone, I'm worried about Maya. She's been really quiet lately. I think she's embarrassed about her financial situation. Can someone reach out to her? Maybe Aunt Carol or Uncle Tom. She might need help but is too proud to ask. I read it 3 times. Each time my anger grew hotter. She was worried about me. I just signed a deal worth over $1 million. And she was telling the family I needed help? Aunt Carol replied. I'll text her. Poor thing. Uncle Tom. Happy to help however we can. Jessica. I can talk to her if you want, Mom. I closed the group chat and opened my email. My real estate agent had sent photos of the lake house, fully furnished now. I forwarded them to my dad with a simple message. Closed on this. Don't tell Mom yet. His response came immediately. I'm so proud of you. Your secret's safe. At least someone knew the truth. Thanksgiving week arrived, and the group chat exploded with coordination messages. Mom was in full hostess mode, micromanaging every detail. Tuesday night she posted. Reminder, Maya's bringing rolls. Store-bought is fine, honey. No one expects you to spend money you don't have. I screenshotted it and sent it to Rachel with a laughing emoji. She replied. Your rolls will be ready tomorrow. They're going to be the best thing at that dinner. Wednesday afternoon, I drove to Rachel's bakery. She had the rolls packed in beautiful custom boxes with ribbon. These cost way more than store-bought, she said, grinning. That's the point, I said, handing her $500. Maya, they're only $380 total. Keep it. Early Christmas bonus. She hugged me. You're going to blow their minds someday, aren't you? That's the plan. I loaded the boxes into my trunk and drove home, smiling the whole way. That night, Mom texted me privately. Honey, are you okay? You've been so distant lately. I'm here if you need to talk about your struggles. There's no shame in needing help. I stared at that message for a full minute. Part of me wanted to tell her everything right then. To send her photos of my house, my bank statements, my client list. To prove that I wasn't struggling, wasn't failing, wasn't the disappointment she thought I was. But I didn't. I'm fine, Mom, I typed back. See you tomorrow. She sent back a heart emoji. I turned off my phone and went to bed. Thanksgiving morning, I woke up with my stomach in knots. I knew today was going to be hard. I packed the artisan rolls carefully in my car and drove to my parents' house. Mom answered the door in her apron, looking frazzled. Oh, Maya. You're here. Come in, come in. Did you remember the rolls? Got them, I said, holding up the boxes. She barely glanced at them. Just set them in the kitchen, honey. Try to stay out of the way. We're pretty busy. Inside, the house smelled like turkey and pie. Jessica was already there, laughing with Mom in the kitchen. Her 2 kids were running around the living room while her husband watched football with Dad. Maya. Jessica hugged me. How are you? Good, I said. You? Busy, you know how it is. Work has been insane. We just landed this huge case. Mom interrupted. Jess, come help me with the cranberry sauce. Jessica gave me an apologetic smile and disappeared into the kitchen. I stood in the doorway, suddenly feeling like a stranger in my childhood home. Dad waved from the couch. I went and sat next to him. How's it going, kiddo? He asked quietly. Better than she thinks, I whispered. He winked at me. I know. Relatives started arriving. Aunt Carol, Uncle Tom, various cousins. Everyone greeted Jessica loudly, complimented her outfit, asked about her kids. When they got to me, the energy shifted. Oh, Maya. Aunt Carol said with exaggerated sympathy. How are you doing, sweetie? The pity in her voice made my skin crawl. I'm great, I said firmly. She patted my arm. Of course you are, honey. We sat down for dinner at 3 o'clock. Mom had arranged the seating so Jessica was next to her at the head of the table. I ended up between two cousins I barely knew, near the end. Mom stood and tapped her wine glass. Before we eat, I want to say grace and thank God for all our blessings this year. She closed her eyes. Lord, thank you for this family. Thank you especially for Jessica's incredible success. Her promotion, her beautiful family, her wonderful husband. We're so proud of everything she's accomplished. I pause. My chest tightened. And please watch over Maya during this difficult time. Give her strength and direction. Amen. Amen, everyone echoed. I kept my eyes on my plate, blinking back tears. Dinner conversation flowed around me. Jessica's latest case. Her husband's dental practice expansion. Their kids' private school. Mom beamed with pride through all of it. Someone eventually turned to me. So Maya, what have you been up to? Before I could answer, Mom cut in. Maya's between things right now. It's been a hard year for her. The table went quiet. Pitying looks landed on me from all directions. Jessica tried to help. Maya, if you need any career advice, my firm has great HR resources. I'm fine, I said, my voice tight. Really? Mom sighed dramatically. Honey, there's no shame in admitting when things aren't going well. Or family. We want to help. Then she turned to the whole table. Actually, everyone, I wanted to mention something about Christmas. We should probably lower our expectations this year. Maya's been struggling financially, and I don't want her to feel pressured about buying gifts. 23 pairs of eyes stared at me. My phone buzzed in my pocket. An email notification. I pulled it out under the table and glanced at the screen. Partnership payment deposited. $400,000. I took a long sip of water and said absolutely nothing. After dinner, I helped clear plates while trying to become invisible. I brought dishes to the kitchen where Mom and Aunt Carol were packaging leftovers. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I heard them anyway. I just feel terrible for her, Aunt Carol said, her voice low. What do you think happened? You gave both girls the same opportunities. Mom sighed heavily. I don't know, Carol. Jessica just had something Maya didn't. Drive, ambition, follow-through. Maya's always been a bit lost. It's not too late for her to turn things around, Aunt Carol said. She's still young. I hope so. Really do. But I'm preparing myself for the possibility that Maya might never really succeed. Some people just aren't built for it. My hands froze on the dish I was holding. Mom thought I'd never succeed. She actually believed it. I set the dish down carefully, grabbed my coat, and walked toward the door. Dad caught me in the hallway. Leaving already? Yeah, I'm tired. He pulled me into a hug. Hang in there, he whispered. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. I drove home with tears streaming down my face. Angry tears, hurt tears, frustrated tears. By the time I pulled into my apartment parking lot, I was exhausted. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. I'm proud of you, whatever you're doing. I know you're okay. Love, Dad. I texted back. Love you too, Dad. See you at Christmas. Then I opened my laptop and started planning the most important party of my life. The plan formed in my mind over the next week. I'd host a holiday party at my lake house and invite the entire family. I'd tell Mom I was house-sitting for a client who wanted me to use the space. She'd believe it. She always believed I was doing small, insignificant things. On December 1st, I sent the invitation to the family group chat. Holiday party at my client's lake house. December 20th, 6 p.m. Address: 482 Lakeview Drive. Dinner provided. Please come. Mom's response came within minutes. How sweet. Maya's trying so hard, everyone. Let's all go and be supportive. The condescension dripped through the screen. Jessica replied. I'll bring champagne. This sounds fun. Aunt Carol. What a nice client to let you use their home. I smiled at my phone. They had no idea. Over the next 2 weeks, I hired a professional decorator for $4,000, a catering company for $6,000, a photographer for $1,200 to capture everyone's reactions. Was it excessive? Absolutely. Was it worth it? Without question. I also ordered custom Christmas gifts for everyone. Dad got a $2,200 engraved watch. Jessica's kids got educational tablets. Mom got a cashmere throw blanket worth $800. Each gift was thoughtful, personal, expensive. Mom kept posting in the group chat. Remember, homemade gifts are just as special. And, Dollar Store has great wrapping paper. Every post was a reminder that she thought I was broke. I just kept planning. By December 15th, everything was ready. The house was professionally decorated. The catering was confirmed. The gifts were wrapped. I stood in my living room, looking at my lake house through the window, and felt my heart racing. In 5 days, everything would change. The week before the party was torture. I second-guessed everything. Maybe this was too much. Maybe I should just tell Mom privately. Maybe public humiliation wasn't the answer. Then, on December 18th, Mom texted me privately. Honey, I'm really worried about you. This party seems like a lot of stress for someone in your situation. Are you sure you can handle it? We can just do a quiet Christmas at my house if this is too much pressure. I don't want you to strain yourself financially trying to impress people. You don't have anything to prove. I read that message 5 times. She thought I was throwing this party to prove something. She thought I was going into debt or straining myself for one night of pretending. She couldn't even imagine that I could actually afford it. I texted back. It's handled, Mom. See you Saturday at 6. An hour later, she posted in the group chat. Everyone, please bring easy side dishes tomorrow to help Maya out. She's trying so hard, and I don't want her to be overwhelmed. Let's support her. Jessica. Already bought appetizers. Aunt Carol. I'll bring a salad. Uncle Tom. We'll grab some bread. They all thought they were helping me. They all thought I couldn't manage a dinner party alone. I looked at the catering invoice on my laptop. 6-course meal. Open bar. Professional serving staff. $6,000. I closed my laptop and turned off my phone. 2 more days. December 20th arrived with clear, cold weather. Perfect for a party. The catering team showed up at 9 in the morning with trucks full of food and equipment. You're Maya? The head chef asked. We're here to set up for tonight. For the next 5 hours, my quiet lake house transformed into something from a magazine. The kitchen filled with the smell of roasting meat and fresh bread. The dining table was set with real china and crystal glasses. The bar was stocked with premium liquor. At 2 o'clock, the decorator arrived for final touches. Fresh flowers on every surface. Candles in the windows. Soft music playing through hidden speakers. At 4 o'clock, I went upstairs to get ready. I'd bought a new dress. Deep green, elegant, $600. I got my hair and makeup done professionally. When I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. I looked successful. Confident. The photographer arrived at 5:30. I'm here to capture the evening, she said. Especially the arrival reactions. Perfect, I said. At 5:45 I stood by the front window watching the driveway. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Headlights appeared at the end of the driveway. Mumsavi. She parked and got out slowly, staring at the house with wide eyes. Even from inside, I could see her confusion. Dad got out of the passenger side. He looked at the house, then at me through the window. He smiled. Mom walked toward the door, her expression a mix of shock and suspicion. I opened the door before she could knock. Hi, Mom. Welcome. Mom stepped inside and froze. Her eyes swept across the vaulted ceilings, the chandelier, the professionally decorated Christmas tree, the view of the lake through floor-to-ceiling windows. Maya, she breathed. This house is... Whose house is this? Come in, I said, stepping aside. Let me take your coat. Maya, whose house is this? She repeated louder. We'll talk about it after everyone arrives. I said calmly. Dad walked in behind her, and I saw him trying not to smile. He winked at me. More cars pulled up. Jessica arrived with her family, and I heard her gasp from the driveway. Aunt Carol and Uncle Tom came together, both staring at the house like it was a palace. Within 20 minutes, my entire family stood in my living room, holding glasses of champagne, whispering to each other. "This place must cost millions," I heard someone say. "Her client must be insanely wealthy," another voice added. Jessica pulled me aside. "Maya, this is incredible. Your client is so generous to let you host here." I just smiled. "Let's eat first. Then I'll explain everything." We moved to the dining room. The catering staff brought out course after course. Lobster bisque, Caesar salad with fresh Parmesan, prime rib with roasted vegetables. Everything was restaurant quality. Mom kept looking around with narrowed eyes. I could see her brain working, trying to figure out what was happening. Finally, dessert arrived. A custom cake with gold lettering. "Happy holidays from Maya." Uncle Tom pointed at it. "From Maya. Not from Maya and her client." The room went quiet. I stood up slowly, my heart hammering. "I'm glad you asked," I said. Everyone's eyes locked on me. I could feel the weight of their attention, their curiosity, their assumptions. Took a breath. "I want to thank you all for coming tonight. It means a lot to have family together during the holidays." "It's beautiful, honey," Mom said, but her smile was tight. "Now, whose house is this? You keep avoiding the question." "You're right," I said. "I should answer that." I walked to the side table and picked up a folder I'd placed there earlier. Inside were the closing documents, the deed, and a printed photo of the house with my name on the listing. I walked back to the table and placed the folder in front of Mom. "This is my house," I said clearly. "I own it. I bought it on November 15th. Silence. Complete, total silence. Mom's face went pale. She opened the folder with shaking hands and stared at the deed. Her mouth opened but no sound came out. "That's impossible," Aunt Carol said. "Maya, this house must be worth $2.3 million, I said. "I paid cash." Jessica dropped her fork. The clatter echoed in the silent room. "Cash?" Mom's voice was barely a whisper. "Where did you get that kind of money?" I'd been waiting 3 years to answer this question. "From my business," I said. "The tech consulting company I started 3 years ago. The one you said was a waste of time." Mom shook her head. "That's not possible. You work from home. You dress so. You drive that old car." "Because I was saving money," I said simply. "I make about $450,000 a year. This year I signed a partnership deal worth $1.2 million over 3 years. Have 12 major clients. I'm not struggling, Mom. I never was." The room erupted in shocked whispers. Questions came from every direction. How long had I been making that much? Why didn't I tell anyone? What exactly did I do? I answered calmly, showing them my LinkedIn profile, which I'd updated that morning with all my credentials and client testimonials. I explained the business model, the growth trajectory, the recent partnership. Mom sat frozen, staring at the documents in front of her. "Why didn't you tell us?" she finally asked, her voice cracking. This was the moment I'd been dreading and anticipating in equal measure. "Because you never asked," I said quietly. "Every time I tried to share something good, it got dismissed or ignored. So I stopped trying." "That's not true," Mom protested. "I've always been interested in your life." "You told the family I was too broke to afford Christmas gifts," I interrupted. "You announced at Thanksgiving that I was struggling. You asked relatives to check on me because you thought I was too embarrassed to ask for help. You did all of that without ever once asking me how I was actually doing." Tears filled Mom's eyes. "I was trying to protect you." "From what?" My voice rose slightly. "From embarrassment. You were the one embarrassing me, Mom. In front of everyone. Constantly." Dad reached for Mom's hand, but she pulled away. "I thought you needed help," she whispered. You were so quiet about everything. You never bought nice things or... Because I don't need nice things to prove my worth, I said. I'm not Jessica. I don't need to show off every achievement. But that doesn't mean I'm failing. Jessica looked stricken. Maya, I never meant to make you feel. You didn't, I said quickly. This isn't about you, Jess. It's about Mom's assumptions. Mom stood up abruptly. So this whole party was to humiliate me. To prove me wrong. No, I said firmly. It was to show you that I'm okay. That I've always been okay. That your assumptions about me were wrong. She grabbed her purse, tears streaming down her face. I can't do this right now. She walked toward the door. Dad called after her, but she was already gone, the door slamming behind her. The room sat in uncomfortable silence. After Mom left, the energy shifted. Some relatives looked guilty. Others looked defensive. A few looked genuinely happy for me. Uncle Tom stood up and raised his glass. I'm proud of you, Maya. This is incredible. Thank you, I said quietly. Aunt Carol shifted uncomfortably. We were just repeating what Linda told us. We didn't know. I know, I said. But maybe next time ask before assuming. Jessica pulled me aside into the kitchen. Her eyes were red. I'm sorry, she said. I knew Mom favored me. I knew she compared us. I should have said something, should have stood up for you more. Hugged her. You're not responsible for her behavior, Jess. We're good. Are we? She pulled back, looking at me seriously. I've been so caught up in my own life that I didn't notice you were building all this. I'm your sister. I should have noticed. I didn't want you to notice, I admitted. I wanted to do this on my own terms. Several cousins approached me to apologize for their pitying looks and condescending comments over the years. I accepted their apologies graciously. By 9 o'clock, most people had left. Only Dad remained, helping the catering staff clean up. Your mother will come around, he said, loading dishes into the dishwasher. She just needs time to process that she was wrong. What if she doesn't? Asked. He smiled sadly. Then that's her loss, not yours. You've built something amazing here, kiddo. With or without her approval. He hugged me goodbye at the door. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. After everyone left, I stood on my back deck, looking out at the dark lake. The house was quiet. The party was over. Done it. Proven myself. So why did I feel so empty? Christmas Eve arrived 4 days later. I'd heard nothing from Mom. The family group chat was silent for the first time in years. No daily messages, no photos, no coordination. Jessica texted me privately. Mom's not doing well. She barely leaves her room. Dad's worried. I stared at that message, feeling guilty despite myself. Had I been too harsh? Had I humiliated her unnecessarily? I spent Christmas Eve alone at the lake house, watching snow fall on the water. My beautiful house felt too big, too quiet, too lonely. At 7 o'clock my doorbell rang. I opened the door to find Mom standing there, wrapped in her winter coat, her eyes puffy from crying. Can I come in? She asked quietly. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, looking around at the house with different eyes now. Not with suspicion, but with something like sadness. We sat in the living room. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, Mom broke the silence. I saw you as the daughter who needed help, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It made me feel needed. Important. I stayed quiet, letting her continue. When you succeeded without me, without my advice or my help, I felt. She paused, searching for words. Irrelevant. Like I failed as a mother because you didn't need me. I've always needed you, I said. Just not in the way you thought. She wiped her eyes. I was so focused on protecting you from failure that I never saw your success. I made assumptions instead of asking questions. I compared you to Jessica instead of seeing you for who you are. Yeah, I said simply. You did. I'm sorry. The words came out broken. I'm so sorry, Maya. For all of it. We both cried then, sitting on my couch in my expensive lake house, finally being honest with each other. Christmas morning was different than any Christmas I'd ever had. Mom and Dad came over early. Jessica's family arrived around 10. Uncle Tom brought coffee and pastries. We gathered in the living room, and for the first time in years, the energy felt real. No performance, no competition, no comparison. We exchanged gifts. Everyone loved what I'd chosen for them. Dad cried when he opened the watch. Mom clutched the cashmere blanket like it was precious. When it was Mom's turn to give gifts, she handed me a small box. Inside was a framed photo I'd never seen before. Me at age 7, sitting at my grandpa's old computer, completely focused on the screen. On the back, Mom had written, "You were always going to build something amazing. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner." I hugged her and she held on tight. "I told everyone at church about your house and business yesterday," she said when we pulled apart. I blinked in surprise. "You did? I bragged about you," she said with a watery smile. "I should have been doing that all along." It wasn't perfect. One conversation couldn't undo years of hurt. But it was a start. We spent the day talking, really talking. I showed them the house properly, explained my business, shared my plans for the future. Mom listened without interrupting, without minimizing, without comparing. At sunset, we all stood on the dock, watching the sky turn pink and gold. Mom reached for my hand. I hesitated for just a second, then let her take it. The week between Christmas and New Year's was quiet. I worked from the lake house, taking calls on the deck, answering emails with a water view in front of me. It felt surreal to be working in a place this beautiful. On December 28th, Jessica texted, "Can I come over?" Just me. She arrived an hour later with coffee and pastries. We sat in my kitchen, and she looked around with something like wonder. "I've been thinking about the party," she said. "About everything that happened." "Yeah." I realized something. She set down her coffee. "Mom's favoritism didn't just hurt you. Hurt me too. I've spent my whole life performing for her approval. Every achievement, every success. I needed her to validate it. You built all this without needing anyone's approval. That's actually stronger." I hadn't thought about it that way. I wanted her approval though, I admitted. I still do sometimes. "I know. But you didn't let the lack of it stop you." She smiled. "That party wasn't just about proving Mom wrong. It was about you claiming your success on your own terms. I respect that." We talked for 3 hours that day. Really talked like we hadn't since we were kids. About Mom, about our childhoods, about the different pressures we'd each felt. When she left, she hugged me tight. "Thank you for changing our family dynamic. We needed this reset." That night, the family group chat came back to life. But it was different now. Mom posted a photo of the cashmere blanket with the caption, "Beautiful gift from my brilliant daughter Maya. Not my struggling daughter. Not my daughter who needs help. Just my brilliant daughter." It was a small thing. But it meant everything. January brought changes I hadn't expected. The lake house became a gathering place. I hosted a New Year's dinner for my immediate family. Just 7 of us, casual and comfortable. Mom asked genuine questions about my business. "What exactly is cybersecurity? How did you learn it? What do your clients need from you?" I answered each question and she listened. Really listened. In mid-January, she asked if she could tour my home office. I showed her my setup, the 2 monitors, the secure server, the certifications on my wall. "I don't understand most of this," she admitted. "But I can see you're exceptional at it." "Thanks, Mom." She touched one of my certifications. "I'm sorry I called it that computer thing for so long. I didn't take it seriously because I didn't understand it. That was wrong. We were learning a new language with each other. It was awkward sometimes, but we were trying." My business continued to thrive. In February, 2 of my clients referred me to their networks. I had to turn down projects because I was fully booked. I hired 2 employees, both young women in cybersecurity who reminded me of myself at their age. Talented but overlooked. I paid them well and gave them flexibility. Dad visited the lake house often, sometimes just to sit on the dock and fish. We didn't always talk. Sometimes we just existed in comfortable silence. One afternoon in March he said, "Your mom is different now. Humbled maybe, but also freer. Like she doesn't have to control everyone's narrative anymore." "Is that good or bad?" "Yes. Good," he said firmly. "It's very good." In late March, Mom did something that shocked me. She called and asked if she could bring a friend by the lake house. "Her daughter is thinking about starting her own business," Mom explained. "I told her you could give advice." I met them on a Saturday afternoon. The daughter, Alicia, was 26 and terrified of leaving her corporate job. "Everyone says I'm crazy," she told me. "That I should be grateful for stability." I smiled, remembering. "Let me guess. Your family thinks you're throwing your life away." "Exactly." She looked relieved that I understood. I spent 2 hours talking her through the practical steps. Building a client base, managing finances, dealing with isolation, handling family pressure. Mom sat quietly the whole time, listening. When they left, Mom hugged me. "Thank you for doing that." "Of course. I told her about how I reacted when you started your business," Mom said. "About how wrong I was. I didn't want her family to make the same mistakes I did." I stared at her. "You told her you were wrong." "I told her I almost cost my daughter our relationship because I couldn't see past my own fear." Her eyes were wet. "I told her not to let anyone make her feel small for dreaming big." We stood in my driveway and I realized something. Mom was changing. Really changing. Not perfectly, not completely, but genuinely. "I'm proud of you, Mom," I said. She looked surprised. "For what?" "For being willing to learn. To admit you were wrong. That's harder than people think." She squeezed my hand. "I'm learning from the best." By April, the lake house felt like home. I'd settled into a routine. Morning coffee on the deck, work in my office with a lake view, evening walks along the shore. The family dynamic had shifted permanently. Mom still favored Jessica in some ways. That kind of pattern doesn't disappear overnight, but she made conscious efforts to celebrate me too. When I landed a major new client in May, she posted about it in the family chat with genuine pride. When I was featured in a local business journal, she bought 10 copies and handed them out at church. Was it performative sometimes? Maybe. But it was also real growth, real effort, real change. Jessica and I talked weekly now. She'd started setting boundaries with Mom too, gently pushing back when Mom got too involved in her life. "You showed me it was possible," Jessica told me over lunch one day. "To love Mom but not need her approval for everything." In June, I hosted my first official family summer party at the lake house. Not a reveal, not a statement, just a party. We swam, grilled burgers, watched the sunset. It was simple and perfect. Uncle Tom cornered me by the grill. "You know what you did at Christmas, right?" "Humiliated my mother," said Riley. "Freed your family," he corrected. Everyone was so busy performing for Linda's approval that we forgot to just be ourselves. "You changed that." I'd never thought about it that way. That night, after everyone left, I sat on my dock with a glass of wine. My phone buzzed with a family group chat, people sharing photos from the day, thanking me for hosting, making plans for next time. No one mentioned my finances. No one pitied me. No one compared me to Jessica. They just saw me. Finally. It's November again. Almost a full year since Mom's message in the family group chat, since I bought this house, since everything changed. I'm sitting on my deck, laptop open, reviewing a new contract. My business has grown beyond what I imagined. I now have 5 employees, 15 major clients, and a waiting list. Next week, I'm speaking at a cybersecurity conference in Seattle. Mom asked if she could come watch. Said yes. The family group chat pings. Mom's posted a photo of her and Dad at a restaurant, celebrating their anniversary. The caption reads, "Dinner paid for by our generous, successful, amazing daughter Maya. We're so proud." A year ago that would have felt performative. Now it just feels like truth. Jessica comments, Best sister ever. Aunt Carol. You raised good daughters, Linda. Mom replies. I'm blessed. Both my girls are incredible in their own ways. Both. Not just Jessica. Both. I close the group chat and look out at the lake. The water is calm today, reflecting the autumn colors on the mountains. A year ago, I sat in my small apartment, reading Mom's message about how I was too broke for Christmas, hovering over the confirm purchase button for this house. I was angry then, determined to prove something. Now, I'm just grateful. Grateful for this house, this business, this life I built. Grateful that Mom and I found our way back to each other. Grateful that the truth finally came out, even if it came out messily. My phone rings. Hey kiddo. Mom wanted me to ask if you're free for Thanksgiving. We'd like to host it here this year, but she wanted to check your schedule first. Smile. Check my schedule first. Not assume. Not decide for me. I'm free, I say. What can I bring? Whatever you want, Dad says. Just yourself is enough. Just myself is enough. A year ago I didn't believe that. Now I do. I'll bring the rolls, I say. The good ones. Dad laughs. The fancy artisan ones. The very best, I confirm. After we hang up, I stand and walk to the edge of the dock. The November air is cold, but the sun is warm on my face. I think about that moment at Thanksgiving last year. Sitting at the end of the table, listening to Mom pray about Jessica's success and my struggles, feeling invisible and small. I'm not invisible anymore. Not because I proved something to Mom, but because I proved something to myself. Built this. The business, the house, the life, the boundaries, the respect. I built all of it, piece by piece, quietly and deliberately, without permission or approval. And now, a year later, I'm still building. Not to prove anything to anyone, but because this is who I am. This is what I do. My phone pings one more time. A message from Mom in our private chat. Thank you for giving me another chance. I love you. I type back. I love you too, Mom. And I mean it. I look back at the house. My house, bought with money I earned, filled with furniture I chose, decorated exactly how I want it. The sun reflects off the windows, making them glow gold. This is what success looks like. Not the money or the house or the business metrics. But this. Standing on my own dock, at peace with myself, surrounded by family who finally sees me, building a life that's entirely mine. I take a deep breath of cold November air and smile. Store-bought rolls. But